today's video is going to be a Odens Eye palette bingo. Now, I just realized over the last couple of weeks that Odens Eye is my most repurchased brand from when it comes to eyeshadow palettes besides ColourPop. So I thought doing a palette bingo would be really fun using all of the palettes that I have from Odens Eye. And I have 8 palettes from Odens Eye. I was actually going to film my Odens Eye ranking video today, but I felt like I could do a palette bingo and that would be a little bit more fun because I am staying in it again today because I'm still feeling under the weather. So we're just going to do a palette bingo and I think it'll be really fun. So I'm going to start with my oldest palette to the newest palette. So the first palette we're going to start out with is the Freesia Diva palette. And all of these, the first 4 palettes that I am generating a number for, I'm just going to completely exit this out and go back into the number generator. Just so it can start off completely random. Because I wanted to just like see like what I would get, because I decided to like randomly generate numbers to see like what colors I would get. And I wasn't like too obsessed with the colors I got at first. So the first 4 palettes that I have all have 12 shades in them. So I only have to have it randomly generated for numbers 1 through 12. So the first palette is the Freesia Diva palette. So let's go ahead and generate a number. So the first number that I get is 5, which is this orangey matte shade called Tor. So let's go ahead and do 5, which is Tor. Don't worry, I'm not going to do everything on camera. I just want to generate the numbers with you guys because I thought that would be really fun. Okay, so that is the first palette. Okay, then the next palette I ever got from them is the Hummingbird palette from Tina and the Fancy Face. I got this palette and then I loved it so much and this whole collection so much that I had to pick up the other 2. But this is the first one that I got out of the 3 palettes. So this palette also has 12 shades in it. So let's go ahead and generate a number. And we got the shade, we got number 8, which is the shade Beach Sands. So that is a pretty shimmer shade. 8, which is Beach Sands. And I'll be able to keep a track of which palette it is because now I'm going from oldest to newest palette rather than just picking random palettes, so that I don't have to write down the name of every single palette. Okay, then the next palette is the Judy Red Dragon palette. This is one of my favorite palettes from Odens Eye, and we're gonna generate a number for this guy. So let's go ahead and generate the number, and we got the number 5. Didn't we just get 5 in the first one? Okay, so that one is Jade, which is another matte shade. 5, which is Jade. Hopefully we get a different number for the Giant Wolves because that is the next palette, because I don't know why I hate when it generates the same number for 2 different palettes, because it's like you want to get like a random number for every palette. Okay, next one, like I said, is the Giant Wolves palette. And it looks like this. This is, again, one of my favorites from Odens Eye. It's such a beautiful palette. And it looks like that. And let's go ahead and generate number 7. That's so funny. That's so funny. Because when I was randomly generating the numbers for the first time just to see what I would get, that's the exact shade that I got. And I got the same shade again in this palette. That's very weird. Okay, so I guess the fates really want me to use the shade Howling, which is that matte purple shade. That's very bizarre. Isn't that weird? That just really weirded me out. Okay, so far we have 3 mattes and 1 shimmer. Not bad. Okay, then the next palette that I got from them was the next one in the Legendary Diversa collection, which is the Hella palette. So this palette has 16 shades in it, so we're going to change the randomizer to 16 instead of 12 because both of the next palettes that we're going to be picking shades from both have 16 shades in them. So this is the Hella palette. So let's generate that number, And we got the number 11, which is the multi-chrome in this palette, which is called double-sided. Okay, I'm happy about that one. I actually finally used, is that right? I always get no, that is not right. I always get the count of this palette wrong for some reason. It is not number 11. It's number, this one's number 11, which is Hellfire. That's still a really pretty shade. Okay. This was actually the only palette that I've done a palette bingo with from Odens Eye, is this palette, because I did a palette bingo when I had COVID back in like March of 2021. I just wanted to do a palette bingo live that day, so I decided to use this palette. Okay, next palette is also another 16 pan palette, and that is the Merry Christmas palette, one of my favorite palettes from Odens Eye. This palette is stunning, and we're going to go ahead and generate a shade from this palette. I don't know why it's so hard for me to hold this one. Okay, got the shade number 1, which is the multi-chrome, which is Elf Wish. That's my favorite shade in the palette, so that's cool. One is Elf Wish. Okay, this is going to be a very interesting look. So far we got 3 shimmers and 3 mattes. And we have an orange matte, a green mustardy matte, I don't know who's calling me, and a purple matte. So at least those are all colors that go together though. So it's going to be interesting matte crease. Okay, and then the 2 most recent palettes I've gotten from Odens Eye are the ones from the Planet Spirit collection. So we're going to do the Batty Bean palette first, and we're going to change the randomizer to 10 shades because these 2 last palettes only have 10 shades in both of them. So let's go ahead and generate. Okay, we got the number 10. So, sorry, I didn't open it yet. So the number 10 is another matte. This is going to be very interesting, which is this last shade right here, which is called Sanctuary. Okay. Sanctuary. I think I prefer the colors that I drew the first time, but no cheating. Okay, and then the last palette is the Flora Story palette from Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun. And this was actually the only one that sold out completely out of the 3 palettes, because this is the most cohesive story, color story, I mean, out of the 3. And she deserves it. Okay, so we're going to generate a number, and we got the shade 5, which is the shade Lush. Whew. Ooh, okay, I'm feeling a bit... This is gonna be some random look, you guys. I'm feeling very, let's just say I'm feeling very creative with this. We actually did get a matte and a shimmer from each palette, which is actually really funny. I was like, I kind of want a matte and a shimmer from each palette, and we did get a matte and a shimmer from each palette. Okay, so Tor, Jade, Howling, and Sanctuary are the matte shades. Okay. And then, okay, maybe I know what to do with this. That Lush shade, I feel like, is going to throw it off, though. All right, so let's start. I think I'm going to do the warmer colors in my crease first. Because then we have a green and a purple. I might do the purple on the outer part because purple does go really nicely with orange. And then we can do like a fun shimmers on the lid. Let's just go with it. So the first shade that I'm going to start with is the first shade that I drew from the first palette, which is the Frisia Diva palette. So we're going to start with, I'm just going for it, whatever. I'm going to use that shade Tor, which is that really beautiful, vibrant, rusty orange in here. So I actually was meaning to declutter this palette at some point, but it just never ended up happening. But I really do still like this palette a lot, so we're just going to go ahead and use that matte shade in the crease, because why the heck not? This is going to be a very interesting look. Like I said, I'm a little bit nervous because I feel like that Lush shade is not going to go. I feel like I know what to do with the rest of the shades except for that Lush shade, because I feel like actually all the other shades go pretty well together, and that green jade shade. But I actually probably could have used jade as the crease shade, but whatever. We're going for it. So we're just going to use this shade. I forgot how smooth this shade blends out. It is just such a pretty shade. I mean, we're probably just going to end up using the lower lash line for a few of the shimmers, which is fine with me. Alright, so let's go with this shade first. And again, it just blends so nice and smoothly. And I know that people say that their formula just improves with time, but I still think that this palette is great. So that's just that one orangey shade. So let's just start with that. Okay. Next palette. Okay, so now I want to go into the shade Sanctuary from the Planet Spirit palette. This is going to be very interesting. So we're going to take that shade and put that as our defining shade. Well, I mean, the orange and the red are going to look really pretty together. Yeah, look at that. That's just so pretty. I already love this look. Done. No, I'm kidding. It'll be fun. Okay. I might do jade on the brow bone because it's a pretty like green that might actually work. We're stepping out of our comfort zone, people. Okay, so that is Sanctuary. I mean, I would have put these two shades together anyway, and there's actually a pretty similar shade to this color in the Frisia Diva palette, so they're not really too far off as being in like the same color family, so that's good. And again, the shade is like super punchy and pretty, so I am not mad about that. Okay, so we got that one. 2 down and 6 to go. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, this might be a little weird, but I am going to use the purple shade from the Giant Wolves palette. So that's going to be our third matte, and I'm going to use that as my outer corner shade because I have used like purples as an outer corner shade before, because I actually did that with the Hummingbird palette, and it actually was like super pretty with the combo of orange, red, and purple together, and I actually did learn to put these colors together because of the Fancy Face and when she did one of her looks with the Hummingbird palette when it came out. Okay, so now we're going to take Howling, which is a beautiful purple. Yeah, look at how pretty that is. Oh my god, sorry. And we're going to use that on the outer corners. Really, really pretty. I am really leaning towards the multi-chrome to put on my lid, but I think it'll be really pretty on the lid too. And then I was thinking about putting Hellfire on the inner part, or I might just put that on the lower lash line. And we gotta put Lush somewhere too, which again is the only shade that's like really throwing me off. Okay, so why is this not blending for me? I put just a little bit too much on. Oh my god, I keep on dipping into Cosmos, which is not the shade I'm using for this look. Alright, So I like how that looks. It does have quite a bit of fallout though. So I suggest you do your eyes first, but that's just me. So then I can avoid getting any fallout. Alright, so once we have that down, we are going to go into a shimmer. Let me just ponder it for a little bit, but I'm just going to do my glitter glue real quick. Okay, so for the lid shade, I have to use the multi-chrome from the Merry Christmas palette, which is the shade Elf Wish. So I'm going to put that one all over my lid. It's just such a gorgeous multi-chrome. It's like probably my favorite one that I own. Like, look at how pretty that is. I think I'm just going to put it on this part. And then maybe we could put blush on the inner part. It might look weird though. Let's see. That's really the only shade that's throwing me. Oh, but that is just so stunning. I have not dipped into this palette since Christmas time because I just have had so many other palettes to use. Because I have, you know, purchased almost 8 palettes this year in the past 3 months. So, yeah. Because, you know, we're all crazy makeup people and we have to try everything. Excuse me. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop Hellfire on the inner part, and then I think I'm going to pop Lush on the bottom lower lash line, and then I'm going to do, what's the other shade? Beach Sands on the inner corners. That looks so pretty. Okay. And, oops, let me just dent the other shade in the process. Jesus Christ. That really freaking bugs me, because now, like, there's flakes everywhere, dumbass. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to take the Hella palette. I just want to get these flakes off my desk. That was really dumb. Like, I'm so mad right now. And I'm going to take that Hellfire shade, which is this shade right here, and I'm going to put that on the inner part of my lid. And I don't know about y'all, but I love the shimmers from Odens Eye. They're just beautiful. And I'm just going to, like, put that on the very inner part and kind of marry it with the Elf Wish shade, and I think that looks really pretty. Ooh. This look is turning out to be very interesting, but it's fun. Okay. That looks so pretty. Okay, and then I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop that green shade on the brow bone. I think it'll be a fun twist if I, again, could close these freaking palettes. Okay. Kind of losing track a little bit. So now I'm going to take the Judy palette and I'm going to pop, it's like a light lime green, so I think it'll work. Yeah, this shade right here on the brow bone. Why not? Let's see how it looks. I actually think that like pale greens actually look pretty cool on the brow bone. And I actually would do that with the Hella palette with some of the like lighter greens, and they actually look pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so we're just gonna do that. I could have also just used it as like a blending shade, but I think it looks cool. And if you just like can, oh, that looks cool. I like that. It's like a pukey green, but you know what? I think it looks pretty cool. Gets me out of my comfort zone and makes me a bit more creative. Okay. This is very interesting, but we used a lot of shades, and I think we only have 2 other shades to use, which is Lush and the what's the other one? Oh my god, Beach Sands from the Hummingbird palette. Because greens, oranges, reds, and purples are good complementary shades together, so that's why I thought that this one would be a fun choice. I'm just gonna do a little bit more green over here, just gonna connect it a bit more. Yeah, that looks cool. And then I'm just going to kind of blend it a bit more. It's a very interesting choice, but I like it. This is definitely a look I would never wear out myself, though. It's like too bold for me, but I mean, it's just like the green I would definitely use something else, but obviously I have to use all the shades, so I'm just going to clean it up a bit and do a bit of concealer, and then we'll come back and finish the eyes. Okay, so I just went ahead and did like a light layer of concealer. I just used my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and then I just set my under eyes with the Becca Hydra Mist powder, and then I just used my Pretty Fresh powder from ColourPop on the rest of my face because I didn't want to put too much of a foundation on. So now I'm going to go into the Fancy Face Hummingbird palette, and I'm going to use that light inner corner shade, which is called Beach Sands, which is this one right here. I'm getting tired already. Okay, so we're going to take that shade and put that on the inner corners. This was such an unplanned video, but I was like, let's just do a palette bingo. Why not? And regret every second of it, but it's fun. It is fun. It's just a little bit annoying dipping into each palette, but it's been entertaining. So we're going to take that one and put it on the inner corners. And again, I love the Odens Eye shimmers and their mattes. They're just beautiful. They have a great formula. And I know if I wanted to do a palette bingo, I knew that all the shades would work together and blend just really nicely together because all of their shades are great and their formula is great. So I know I wouldn't have to dread like blending certain shades together when I know they're just gonna work. Now if I had to do a palette bingo with Adept, that'd be a different story. But not every formula is for everyone. We all have our preferences. Just didn't work for me. Doesn't mean it's not gonna work for you. Some people don't like Odens Eye's formula. Just personal preference. Just makeup. Not everybody has to love the same thing. Okay, so that would be boring. And then, like I said, hopefully this does not throw the whole look off. But now I'm going to take the shade Lush, which is the last shade we need to use, which is this like tealy blue shade. And we're going to put this on the lower lash line. So we're going to see how this goes. It kind of ties in the color of my pullover, though. I wear this all the time. All the time when I stay home. It's like my favorite pullover to wear from Lucky. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dust this on the lower lash line. It's actually really gorgeous. It's giving me some mermaid vibes. And it actually is not as bad as I thought because it's a shimmer, so it's not going to be as crazily pigmented on the lower lash line as a matte would be. So I guess that kind of worked out, and that actually looks gorgeous. Okay, you guys. I'm actually kind of shocked that actually looks a lot better than I thought. But I feel like we always get scared and overhype something, and then when we actually do it, it's not as bad as we thought. I just think we overhype it in our minds. And it's like, oh, okay, it's not as scary as I thought, you know? I'm just going to do it as like a light, kind of like almost whimsical fairy dust kind of thing. And that's actually really pretty. Okay, I am getting that in my eye. Let me try and not do that. That's really pretty. I like that. I am getting hungry already though. I need to be sitting on my ass soon too, because I stayed home today so I could relax. Not spend the whole time filming and not relaxing. Because I could not fall asleep last night. Ended up looking better on the left side than it did on the right side. Alright, that's pretty. I don't have to go too crazy because it does have shimmer in it, so I don't want to get the shimmer in my eyes. I already did that. Okay, so now I'm going to do liner and all that good stuff. I'm just going to take my brown liner from LA Girl, which is usually my go-to. And I'm just going to line the waterline because I think a brown would be nice with this look, so. So I'm just going to do all of that, and then we'll do cheeks and highlight. Okay, so this look turned out way better than I thought it would. So let's just go ahead and finish up with bronzer, blush, and highlight. So I'm just going to use my ColourPop matte bronzer in Alviva Beach. I'm starting to get hungry, so I need to get some lunch in me soon. I had a croissant for breakfast because I was hungry, but I didn't know what to eat. Like, I wanted a bagel originally, and then I was, like, not really feeling the cream cheese. So I just wanted something a bit lighter, but not, like, too dairy. So I just had a croissant with strawberry jam, and it's always really good. And a espresso. But I'm already hungry again. And that was, like, 3 hours ago, because I got up late because I didn't sleep well. And my dad actually picked me up cough drops yesterday, so that's what I've had like 10 of them already. So it's just what I'm sucking on right now. Okay, so I think for blush, I just want to use my House Labs blush again, so we're just going to use that. I just feel like it. In the shade Pomelo Peach. I forgot the shade name for a second. Actually legit forgot this time. Sometimes I'll do that and I'll look at the shade when I already know what it is, but for some reason I'll just read the label still. But I actually did forget the shade name this time. Because, you know, when you're sick, you just blank on everything. Okay, and then for highlights, I might just use one of the shifty shades from the palette. Why not? Or one of the palettes. I haven't even done that this year because I've had, you know, a lot of other highlighters to use. Or we could just use a multi-chrome highlighter from Blend Bunny because that is in front of me. And I just don't feel like getting up and grabbing anything. So yeah, I think we're just going to do that. So I'm going to grab the... should we use one of the shades from one of these palettes? Not really feeling any of them, to be honest. Yeah, let's use Blend Bunny. We're just gonna use the Noctilucent palette. These are gorgeous, so I think it'll be really pretty with this look. I knew some of these were gonna fall. Whoops. Well, now they're staying on the floor because I have carpeted floors, so it's not like a huge deal. Let's see, which color do we want to use? I kind of just want to use this shade again. That's my favorite shade in the palette. So that shade is called, which one? This one right here. Enlighten. Oh, it's so pretty. It's like a really beautiful, like, limey green. And these are so blinding and pretty. That looks gorgeous. Yeah, good choice, Caitlin. That looks stunning. And we used every shade. And I think, actually, the look turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. This was really fun. I miss doing palette bingos. They actually are some of the, like, most fun videos to film for me. I need to start doing them more often. Or whenever, like, you know, I'm not feeling well. Alright. Let's just pop on a lippy and then we'll finish up the video. So I actually ended up popping a little bit of that Enlighten right here on the inner part. And I think it looks so pretty. So then just the beach sands part is like here and here. But I think that looks so gorgeous. Sorry if that's cheating, but I did use all the shades. So I just added to it. So, okay. So for the lips, what do I want to do for the lips? And I have to eat something. I might just use a makeup wipe to take this off because I did just wash my face earlier. Just want to spray my face. Okay, for the lips, I don't think I'm even going to bother with my brows because I'm literally just going to take this off. I just want to pop on this peach lip balm from ColourPop. I think that's what we're going to do. In the shade, oh wait, never mind. It's in the shade Rise and Shine. I thought it wore off the side, but it didn't. All right, let's just go ahead and apply that. And then we are done. It's such a pretty, like, peachy lip balm, and I think it looks so pretty with this look. I feel like the last palette bingo I did ended up being, like, kind of a peachy crease. I mean, it wasn't with the Odens Eye palette. It was with the So Jaded. That was a while back, and that was, like, my first palette bingo. This is only, like, excuse me. Where is my mirror? Let's just use the Snow White mirror. This is only my third palette bingo, so. Okay. Why is everything so annoying right now? My lips are still, like, wet from my drink. Okay, let's try that again. I love these lip crayons from ColourPop. I don't think they've come out with them in a while. What? It's one of my favorite formulas from them. So I watched this movie called This Is Where I Leave You on Netflix last night. I've been watching, like, a lot of, like, random movies that I've never seen before the past week on my spring break. Because honestly, I haven't really done anything too thrilling because I ended up getting sick. So I've just been trying to recover. And at least we went out for my mom's birthday, though, on Thursday. And I saw my friends on Tuesday. And then I saw my boyfriend. a couple times this week, so it hasn't been that bad. I just didn't plan on getting sick, but I felt like I knew I was going to get sick soon. So yeah, you guys, this is the finished look. I think it turned out really, really pretty. I'm just going to brush through my brows, but I'm not going to set them because, again, there's really no point. And I think it turned out really fun. So here are the eyes. Really pretty and sparkly, but that's what I love about Odens Eye shimmers. The cheeks and the lips. The mascara that I used didn't really work out for me, but whatever. The point of this video is the eyeshadow anyway. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm literally just going to go take it off, but I think palette bingos are so much fun. So yeah, I love you guys. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at SBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. I want to know if you guys enjoyed this video and if you liked how the look turned out. I think it turned out really pretty. I like how it turned out. And I don't think I have to mess with the shimmers again. I think it looks really pretty, so I'm not going to bother. I like it, and not everything has to be perfect anyway. It's just like transferring a little bit, but I think it looks gorgeous. So yeah, and let me know what is your most repurchased eyeshadow brand. Like what brand do you have like more than like 3 palettes from, or even like two or 3 palettes from? That's like your favorite eyeshadow palette formula and brand. ColourPop is of course my number 1, but I did not realize how many Odens Eye palettes I had actually purchased until after I got the Perfect World palettes. Like these are the 2 most recent ones to my collection. So yeah, I thought this turned out really cool. I actually was a bit more nervous when I first drew the shades, but now I feel like they turned out really cool. All right, I'm gonna go because I need to eat lunch. So yeah, I love you guys. Bye.